We're here at the Hawks Nest tonight as the 20-2 Grapevine Mustangs square off with the Birdville Hawks. Great night for baseball, and we got a guest with us tonight, Will Connerly, that is going to. This is Mustang Baseball Live on Tradio.
Go ball! Get out of here! Get out of here! Oh, get deep! Get deep! Deep, deep! Oh. 2 balls, 1 strike on Jared Boswell, the junior, the first baseman for the Mustangs. Hadn't been in a bigger spot in his life. Oh, he hit one! He burned him!
Ball!
He burned him!
Let's go!
Go! He burned him!
Yeah! We got a ball game!
Mustangs are state champions!
I love it, Trey!
Oh my God!
Mustang Baseball Live on Tradio begins now.
Okay, Tradio is pleased to have Will Connerly tonight on the broadcast. Will is a former college baseball player and currently a professional broadcaster. Will, tell us a little bit about what's going on tonight.
Well, it should be a fun night tonight. You mentioned Grapevine and 20-2 and trying to continue to play well, especially after Wednesday night, getting the victory and doing it as they've done a lot this season in dominant fashion. So going for the sweep, and excited to be alongside you tonight for Mustang Baseball Live. It should be a lot of fun here at Birdville as they try to pick up a win and follow up on their 10-0 win on Wednesday night.
Well, Coach Webster was quick to say that they are focused on tonight's game, and Trey pointed out if they win tonight, they will lock up at least a tie in the district first place.
And as you speak of district first place and look at the standings, and coming into this week, you think, okay, 1 versus 2 in the standings, Grapevine, Birdville, and like you said, with the top spot in the standings right now, they control their own destiny moving forward and trying to pick up steam toward the postseason and try to repeat what they did a season ago, winning a state championship.
Yeah, you don't want to get too far ahead of yourself, but the Mustangs do control their own destiny, and if they keep playing the way they've been playing, they really can put together another special season.
Absolutely. So a spot on the line tonight to secure at least a share of that 6-5A regular season title here on Tradio. Looking forward to this matchup as we continue on the pregame show. You're watching Mustang Baseball Live.
On the mound tonight for the Mustangs, we've got Ben Chin, a.k.a. The Wolf, and we do have an endorsement of that nickname by Ben that Trey secured on Tuesday night. So we are going to use that nickname a little more often in our broadcast. He's coming off a strong outing. In his last outing, he went 6 innings and I believe he pitched a shutout that night. Yeah, no earned runs that night.
9 strikeouts as well, and just 1 walk. Was really throwing the ball at a high level and was commanding the zone, so tries to replicate that and continue on another quality start for this staff here this week, and they aim to continue that tonight. The Wolf, do you know where that name originated from?
I think it Benny Chin blow down the door. So Trey. Trey would have to answer that.
So we'll talk to the coach coming up here on the other side. Jimmy Webster joins the pregame show.
Knipper Memorial Golf Tournament will be held this year on Friday, October 10th at Fossil Creek Golf Club. The tournament is dedicated to honoring the memory of CJ, who was a GHS student actively involved in DECA and golf. 100% of the proceeds from the tournament create scholarships for deserving DECA seniors at Grapevine High School. Since 2020, $45,000 in scholarships have been awarded. To find out more, including how to donate or be part of the tournament, please go to www.cjmemorialgolftournament.com.
Let me play the interview with Coach.
With us tonight, and we're going to talk to Coach Webster about the playoffs and the playoff picture right now. Coach Webster, the Mustangs currently control their own destiny in the district standings. Can you just tell me what your message to the team is for the remainder of the district season?
Well, we've got a tough one tonight. The guy we're facing, the Winans kid, he's good. So we're just trying to stay focused on tonight, and then we'll get to the rest later. But tonight we've got a chore in front of us.
Tell me what Lake Dallas is not in our district this year. What that means for the teams that get into the playoffs, since we have a smaller number of teams in the district.
Well, the two good things about it. One is for Lake Dallas, because they're doing really well in the new district.
They're in 4A, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
They dropped down to 4A. The bad thing for the rest of us was now you have an open, and to me it's even worse for us because we have the last open.
Right.
So not next week, but the week after, that's our open, and it's not ideal going into the playoffs like that. But we're fortunate enough to be able to pick up a couple games against Arlington Heights, so we'll be able to cover that up.
One thing that I've seen, Coach, is you're using a lot of your bench. Just tell me a little bit about that next man up mentality and what that does to keep the Mustangs rolling.
Well, one thing we talk about, I saw a while ago a quote that I really liked. It was everybody's role is different, but everybody's status is the same. And if you're a member of our group, then you're the same as everybody else. So like Will's going to be in tonight, and we expect Will to do well because he's with us every day and we see him every day. So we'll just roll with the flow and see what happens.
Well, that kind of leads me into my next comment. The team chemistry for the Mustangs, especially over the last 2 to 3 seasons, I think has been a definite strength for the team. Can you tell me what your recipe is to create that strong chemistry?
Nothing's a secret, but I think most people know that you can have pretty good talent, and if there's bad chemistry or a bad apple or 1 or 2 people that can affect that negatively, then you're number one, you're not going to be as good as you could be, and number 2, it could take off. I'm a believer in you're always going to have some guys on this side of the fence that they're going to be there every day. You can count on them. They're going to pass. They're going to be great in the classroom, and you're going to have some guys on the other side that they maybe bring people down. You've got to win the guys on the fence. And that's one thing that I think we've been able to do because we have some strong personality kids that are leaders, and I think that's helped.
Well, the game that really sticks in my head is that Hebron game on a Saturday a couple weeks back where you played a little different lineup that day. Some of your usual starters were not in the lineup, but I remember Lolly was on the rail, and I believe Zach Goldstein was on the mound. He thought he had got the 3rd strike, and Lolly was halfway to the mound, to congratulate Zach. Unfortunately, the umpire didn't agree, but I was so taken back by the enthusiasm of those kids that weren't in the game that day, but were so supportive of their teammates.
Well, and we talked about that a little bit, because now there's reciprocity, because those guys are doing it for you, and you can show them your interest in them and your thankfulness for them by doing the same thing for those guys when they get to play.
Yeah.
So and we're a big believer of that.
Yeah. Well, Coach, thanks for your time. I know you've got a big game tonight, and I don't want to keep you away from that any longer, but really appreciate your time, and go Mustangs.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Coach. Okay, we're getting the starting lineups for both the teams tonight. We do have a little bit of a change in the Mustangs lineup. We've got Will Newton sliding in at second base, and Will is a senior. We've seen Will in action earlier this season in the Hebron game. In fact, he had a big hit late in that game with an RBI. That was a wild one that the Mustangs won 13-12, if I recall correctly. So we've seen Will in action, and excited to see what he brings tonight.
Chance to step up here in district play, and it's kind of what that pregame interview that you guys just heard talked about as well. Next man up, right, Jeff?
Exactly, yeah. I'm about to get the anthem here.
Leads us with singing our national anthem.
Okay, one thing Coach Webster mentioned in the pregame is that the starting pitcher tonight for the Hawks will challenge the Mustang hitters Winnings. They've obviously scouted him and seen some impressive stuff. So it's interesting to see how the hitters match up against him. He is a right-hander. We did face a left-hander the other night for Birdville as the starter, and he actually kept our left-handed hitters in check. And the Mustang lineup is a little bit heavy on the left-handed side. We had 5 left-handed hitters in the lineup on Tuesday night, and I believe tonight we'll actually have an extra left-handed hitter, because Will is a left-handed hitter and Colin was one of the right-handed hitters that won't be in the lineup tonight.
Gabe Winans, the right-hander, getting loose for Birdville and trying to be more competitive. 10 hits and 5 walks surrendered by the staff in the 10-0 victory for Grapevine on Wednesday. We're glad you're getting settled in as we're about to get underway here this evening. Grapevine going for win number 21 on the season. Will Connerly, happy to be alongside you, alongside the former South Alabama Jaguar, Mr. Jeff Knipper. A voice you guys know very well here for the Grapevine faithful here on Tradio. And you get a glance at the freshman. Been a great table setter this year, and he's going to lead things off. Luke Esquivel, after a good outing on the hill on Wednesday, he'll try to start things off for Grapevine as the top of the first is about to get underway.
Yeah, Luke is hitting right around 450, so he's done a great job getting on base. We've got a wave from Coach Washburn. Happy birthday, Coach Washburn. That's a running joke that dates back to last year's trip out to West Texas.
Left fielder Luke Esquivel.
You're going to share more on that later.
Well, Trey was on that trip, and they got the pilot on the plane to tell Coach Washburn happy birthday. They got the Chili's waitress to sing happy birthday.
So the freshman takes the first. 436 batting average on the season. Pretty good for a guy who's had a great season really on both ends. One of the most coveted freshmen in the state of Texas. And that is a strike. Winans trying to attack early on.
Yeah, it looks like he's got a pretty good fastball.
Winans kicks and delivers. Misfires outside. And the 1-2. Lifted towards center. Grab is made there by Carson Blake out in center field for the first out.
Yeah, Blake was their starting pitcher on Tuesday night.
See both starting pitchers now patrolling the outfield for their respective teams.
Yeah, that is one thing unique in high school baseball is you see pitchers at the plate and in the field, and oftentimes they are your best athletes. Got a discussion about something here. Not sure what's going on.
Trying to see.
Yeah,
interesting.
Still talking about something. Oh, I see that.
There could be a drone that they're talking about.
I see
you really
it.
think? Interesting.
That's not a Tradio drone, is it?
No.
We've got every other angle in the ballpark.
Zach Goldstein takes the first inside after Gabe Winans gets Esquivel to fly out to center. After a brief stoppage, the two head coaches with the umpires perhaps arguing about a drone. We proceed here in the top of the first inning with Goldstein at the plate, hitting with a 1-ball, 1-strike count. And that misfires. Goldstein, a .230 hitter. And the junior outfielder hitting with a friendly 2-1 count.
We saw Zach's bat heat up down the stretch last year, and wouldn't be surprised to see that happen again this year. He had some really big hits in the playoffs.
First team all-district selection last year. Big part of the Grapevine squad. Really a big part of this order as well. Hitting second, a lot of confidence swinging it from the left side. And now the payoff pitch awaits from Gabe Winans. Gets the sign, kicks the leg and delivers, and misses up and in, ball 4. Grapevine gets a base runner.
Zach has pretty good speed, so wouldn't be surprised to see us on the move here.
Jarrett Boswell now up to the plate. The senior went 1 for 2, drew a pair of walks on Wednesday night, hitting .362 on the season.
Yeah, like I mentioned, it was kind of a slow night for our left-handed hitters Tuesday night. The only other hit by a left-hander was Brady Boozer had a bunt base hit. But our righties had a field day. We had Lolly had 2 hits Tuesday night. Gianni had 2 hits. Colin Park had 2 hits. Thomas Powers had a hit.
Maybe the tide could turn. Righty on the hill, as you discussed. Lefty's first 3 in the order. Big hack, and it's a 1-1 count.
Swung right through that one, yeah. Yeah, the lefties should like this matchup a little bit better. Big hole on that right side to shoot something through there with that first baseman holding the runner.
The runner Goldstein with the lead at first after drawing the walk. And the breaking ball's in for a called strike. Jarrett Boswell.
At least early on, we're taking a lot of strikes. I don't know if maybe it's that time of the day where sometimes it's tough to pick up the ball. You're better off once it gets dark and the lights kick in.
Winans wants a check at Goldstein, and he gets back in time.
You mentioned earlier, yeah, the wind has laid down pretty much entirely.
It was blowing a little bit out to right at the beginning of the evening.
Yeah, it was moving the foul pole. The foul pole's now it's stable.
Steady now, 2 balls and 2 strikes the count. Jarrett Boswell with Goldstein at first. 1 gone in the top of the first inning. Gabe Winans looking for a ground ball with the middle infield pinched in. Goldstein's off, and that's ripped through the right side. That'll send Goldstein to third. Boswell with a single, runners on the corners with 1 gone.
Jarrett found that hole on the right side that I talked about. He just turned on that. And nice first and third spot here for the Mustangs with 1 out.
Runner in motion, getting to third, perhaps gets there either way, but sets Grapevine up with a runner 90 feet away to score the first of the ball game.
Yeah, that brings Lolly to the plate, and I don't think we have RBI stats, but my guess would be Lolly is leading the team in RBIs.
Lolly Esquivel, the cleanup hitter. A 460 batting average for the junior, and as a cleanup hitter, if you're hitting 460, you could probably guess a lot of runs driven in on the season and opportunity here.
Well, Tuesday night, Luke had a higher average than Lolly, but Lolly leapfrogged him Tuesday night with 2 hits.
Times a part of those right-handed hitters doing well.
Well, and a lot of those hits have been extra base hits. He just hit some absolute rockets, 1 hop the wall.
Runners off. Boswell gets there in time. Throw goes to center to Blake, and that's going to put a run across. Zach Goldstein scores, and Grapevine ahead 1-0.
Trey talked about it earlier in the season. Jared has picked up a step on the bases this year, and we tested those legs out right there. And Zach was actually not moving on the throw. He waited to see if that throw got away from the second baseman, and he only scored when that went to center field.
The 0-1 fouled away to the right side.
Outfield's playing pretty deep for Lolly, which is a good idea.
Cleanup man. He's been crushing the baseball all season. High batting average, plenty of extra base hits as Winans steps off. Interesting with first and third, like you mentioned, too. A lot of the times you see the runner on third just take off or see what type of defensive play happens, but all that went out the window when the throw sailed to center field.
Yeah, I don't think Luke broke on the throw. He waited till it got to the outfield.
That is grounded through the left side. Boswell will move to third, and that's another hit for Lally Esquivel as that average, which was already north of 400, continues to climb, and Grapevine with runners at the corners again.
He's just been a really tough out in district action. It seems like he's had 2 hits just about every game we've played. I think he's even mixed in a 3-hit game. It's been really impressive to watch him swing the bat.
Going 2 for 2 with 3 runs scored and a walk drawn on a Wednesday. Playing third at the hot corner, hitting cleanup. Of course, he played a big role on that state title team last year, another of those first-team all-district selections, and that role has continued to increase, and his production at the plate has been very nice. As you got a couple of Esquivels in the top 4 in the order, as you've got, after this mound visit, still runners on the corners, and Grapevine threatening 2 already across here in this first inning.
Yeah, and we've got Gianni Corral stepping in at the plate, and he's coming off a 2-hit night on Wednesday night.
Gianni Corral.
And it's impressive to see what he can do with the bat in his hands, because really built a reputation for himself for what he can do defensively behind the plate, but hits in a big spot in this order as well at the number 5 spot. And especially, Jeff, with all the production you've seen from the top 4 in this order, he's going to hit with a lot of ducks on the pond, guys on the base paths, and that's the case right now. Could be 2. On to first. In time. Nifty turn up the middle, and Birdville gets out of the inning with a ground ball double play, but Grapevine leads by 2 when we come back. We are back with you alongside Jeff Knipper. I'm Will Connerly. Going to break. Told you it was 2-0. That was a lie. 1-0. Grapevine has the lead as we start the bottom half of the first inning. Ben Chen induces a ground ball, throws it on to first in time. That's Will Newton stepping up, making his first start in district play at second. First ball comes right to him.
I was thinking the same thing, yeah. Of course, the first ball put in play finds our new defensive second baseman.
That's one way to settle into on the hill for Ben Chen, coming off, as we showed you pregame, an excellent outing last time out, and a ground ball 4-3 in the book. He might have 2 pitches. Nope, that scoots through the middle. 2 pitches, 2 balls on the ground, but that one for Eric Ortiz is a base hit.
Yeah, right up the middle, and nobody could get to that one.
The third baseman, number 20,
even though we shut out the Hawks on Wednesday night, they did have 5 or 6 hits, and we were able to strand those runners. So they put some base runners out there. They just couldn't put enough hits together to put anything in the run column.
So the first 2 pitches offered swings, 1 ground ball to second, 1 up the middle there by Eric Ortiz, who's standing at first. Here in what is a 1-0 ball game.
They've come out swinging early in the count, so they obviously expect Ben to throw strikes.
Manny Gonzalez offers at that one. Nasty pitch there by Chen. He buried it to even the count at a ball and a strike.
Seem to be using his breaking pitch a lot early.
1 out, 1 on. Manny Gonzalez at the plate. Chen checks back at first. If you're just joining us, it was Luke Esquivel flew out to center, but it was a Zach Goldstein walk, and that walk proved to be the lone run in the top half of the first inning for the Mustangs. Jarrett Boswell and Lolly Esquivel also had hits in that top of the first inning, but a ground ball double play ended the threat. Pitch misfires up and inside. Alongside the former South Alabama Jaguar, Jeff Knipper. I'm Will Connerly here on Tradio. All spearheaded by Mr. Trey Bell in this 1-0 ball game. 2-1 the count here to Manny Gonzalez. And he fouls it away to the right side, so now Ben Chen, 2 strikes on the count to the third place hitter in the lineup.
The Wolf got in on his hands right there, jammed him. He's got good velocity.
Looks in. Went 6 shutout last time out against Denton Ryan. And what was a 7-0 victory. Chen kicks, delivers, and another 2-2 pitch foul back. Solid fight shown here by Manny Gonzalez, especially, Jeff, after early in the at-bat. He offered at a pitch that Chen was able to bury, but he's been fighting some of those pitches off as of late with the fastball.
Yeah, he is doing a good job fighting those pitches off and shooting some balls across the road there. Oh, wow, there it is.
Called strike 3. You saw it pretty quickly, Jeff. There it is, the call, and you could see it. Good paint right there by Ben Chen.
That looked like that curveball that I mentioned. He fed him a couple fastballs and just froze him with that curveball.
He did indeed. So 2 gone here in the bottom of the first inning. After Gonzalez was caught looking.
We haven't seen many teams try and run on us, and I think that shows a lot of respect for Gianni behind the plate. We know he's one of the top defensive catchers in the state. We also heard from one of Trey's umpiring buddies that he's a very good receiver of the ball, and that certainly helps, I believe, the ball strike calls.
Up and in there to Carter Owens at the plate, trying to extend things here in the bottom of the first inning for the Hawks of Birdville. Second in this district behind Grapevine. They've put together a good season and trying to show some fight on their home turf here tonight. Ball lifted toward left inching toward foul territory, but a great play made out in left. How about Luke Esquivel going to get that one to end the bottom of the first?
That was a really nice play right at the wall. He just kind of floated over there. I wasn't sure it was going to stay in play, but that ball was well hit. 2-0 count, and the hitter turned on it. Nice play by Luke to get over there and get that third out. You're watching Mustang Baseball live on Tradio.
Well, this is how the first inning ended. Nice little catch out in foul territory. The warning track, and Esquivel running into the wall to end the bottom of the first. As we start at the top of the second, Brady Boozer at the plate. He takes the first up and out.
I mentioned that Brady had a bunt base hit on Wednesday night. He also hit a ball really hard right at the right fielder line drive. So it was good to see Brady really square one up.
Senior takes it outside the zone. 1-0 the score. Popped up toward third. And the crowd corralled there by Manny Gonzalez.
Yeah, it looked like Brady was right on that pitch. He's just been getting underneath some of those balls for about a week or two, it seems.
Thomas Powers, senior, up to the plate. 1 for 3 on Wednesday, but you saw the old batting average, close to .390 on the season. Nice to have the bottom third of the lineup. He takes a big hack on the first offering and fouls it back.
Yeah, he had a good cut right there. Right on. Straight back.
0-1 the count. Trey Bell, A.J. Juarez alongside the crew tonight. Here on Tradio, as that's taken for a strike. And of course, the former South Alabama Jaguar, Jeff Knipper. I'm Will Connerly. We're happy to be with you out in right field here at Birdville. That's upstairs. Whoa, called for a strike.
We want to say a special thank you to Coach Bonner and the Booster Club president for Birdville, Matt. I'm not sure I have his full name, but thank you for letting us set up down here on the. Matt Miller is the Birdville Booster Club president. Thanks for letting us set up on the right field line. That's okay. Get some waving at a curveball right there. But we've got a really nice view tonight. We were worried we were going to be out looking over the fence, so this is much appreciated.
Always great to have those accommodations for the broadcast. That's really put on for both teams with an opportunity to see these games for whoever can get here, right? whether you're a fan of either squad, trying to see things happen. And Connor Ray, who's hitting .341 on the season, fouls the first away to the left side. But really,
yeah, great service that Trey Bell and Tradio is providing for these relatives that are out of town. You know, call your grandma, call your aunt and uncle and say, hey, go to YouTube and find Tradio and you can watch your grandson play tonight.
I like that. Don't just text them, call them. Or you could text them the link, though. You could share the link. We appreciate you watching. So
text message may not work with my dad. You better pick up the phone and call. It's another foul ball down the left field line.
Connor Ray, the shortstop, trying to get things started in the top of the second inning. 1-0 the score. Grapevine had a walk drawn by Zach Goldstein. He came across to score. The lone run, which could have been more, 2 more hits followed in that first, but a ground ball double play ended the threat. 1-2 the count. Winans lets one fly, and he misfires to even it at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
You know, we started slow Wednesday night and then kind of exploded around the 3rd inning and put up some 2, 3, 4 run innings to separate in that game. So hopefully that trend continues tonight, because that's a bit of a slow start at the plate for the Mustangs.
The 2-2, it's a swing and a miss. So credit to Gabe Winans. He retires the side in order. We go to the bottom of the second. Grapevine leads by 1. And you're watching Grapevine baseball here on Tradio. Alongside Jeff Knipper, I'm Will Counterly. 1-0 score as we go to the bottom of the second.
Great night to be at the ballpark.
Saw Ben Chen as he gets ready for his 2nd inning of work. Really filling up the zone in that 1st inning. He's efficient.
Been throwing a lot of strikes. We don't have the pitch count on the scoreboard, but I'll keep an eye on that on game day. He's definitely off to an efficient start.
It's ahead. He took 2 pitches to face 2 batters last inning. The first 2 pitches of this inning called strikes to Cam Hayen, and it's an 0-2 count. So Cam Hayen trying to battle Chen for the 0-2. And it is chopped to second. On to first. And it's in time. How about Will Newton?
2 nice plays for Will here in the first 2 innings. And that was one he had to come and get and throw on the run.
The first baseman, number 1.
First base slide, which sometimes you do that on the air throw, but I slide there. But nice play, Will Newton. Good to see a senior step up and make some plays when he gets the opportunity.
First upstairs Bottom of the second, 1 out. Grapevine leads 1-0. Looking for the sweep this week. The 1 and 2 teams here in the district. After winning 10-0 on Wednesday, swing and a miss there by Luke Banner, the first baseman. An even count, a ball and a strike with 1 gone and nobody on here in the bottom of the second inning. This is inside. Ben Chen mentioned last time out, 6 shutout. Trey Bell tells us he's the Wolf.
Yeah, Trey will have to explain that one. That's his invention.
We'll take it. We'll wait for that one.
But Ben likes it. That's all that matters.
That is all that matters, and it's hard not to like what Ben has done up on the hill as of late. Put up a 0 in the first. Deuces another ground ball here. Gathered at third, on to first in time. Lolly making the play at the hot corner for the second out.
Yeah, Lolly was the primary DH last season and didn't play on the left side of the infield. May have seen some time at first base, but it's been a pleasant surprise to see Lolly over there on the hot corner. He's made all the plays, it seems like. All the routine plays and a few really non-routine plays.
So 2 outs. Bottom of inning number 2. Grapevine ahead 1-0. Ben Chen looking for the 1-2-3, bottom of the second.
Boy, that's well hit.
Pulled to left field. And it hits off the base of the wall and continues to roll toward foul territory. And helping out your own cause is Gabe Winans, the starting pitcher, with a double to extend things in the bottom of the second. Well hit.
Yeah, I don't know if Luke thought it was going to go foul, but it was hitting the base of the wall. I don't think he had a player either way, but it took an awkward bounce off the wall. Base runner pulled up at second, but got away from Luke.
Entering in to run for the Hawks, number 7, Paxton Jacinto.
So Paxton Jacinto is now running at second as a courtesy for the pitcher Gabe Winans, who doubles to left with 2 outs to extend this inning. And, well, he takes third base as well, goes to the backstop, Jeff.
Yeah, that was a wild pitch. Gianni just couldn't get out in front of that one. So we've seen the Hawks hitters turn on a couple balls here just in the first 2 innings.
And now they've got the tying run.
Good pitch right there.
Chen.
2 outs here, so just should take another base hit if they're going to push that run across and make sure we don't give them anything here.
And Chen low there, 2-1 now the count.
So Ben checks the runner over at third. He was getting off the bag a pretty good bit, but I don't look for him to try and steal home here with 2 outs. In fact, you never look for someone to try and steal home until they do it.
So you got the tying run at third.
Yeah, 3-1 count here on the hitter. I believe this is the catcher Gray at the plate. And don't give in so much here with the number 9 hitter on deck.
Mustangs just foul back.
They got a 3-2 count here and 2 outs. Good job by Gianni right there keeping that in front, even though it was a ball. You don't want to give him a run there on a pass ball. That ball bounced well in front of the plate.
Now batting, the designated hitter, number 16, Reed Miller.
Miller now up to the plate, the designated hitter.
Entering in a run for the Hawks, number 5,
visit here from Coach Webster, and
Hero.
probably just try and settle Ben down here. Maybe talk about some first and third defense also. This is a situation where they may try and steal a run on the bases, send that runner from first and try and draw the throw and then have the runner at third break. That's a pretty common high school move. You don't necessarily see it in the major leagues.
True, but with 2 outs though, what is the play? Defensively, if you can get the guy at second, you're right. Jeopardy of a run down, who cares? If he scores before the third out is gone, it's a run, so you don't want to limit that at all costs.
Right, and what that runner at first will do is pull up short of the bag so you can't get him out if you're going to break on the throw. But we'll see if they try that.
It shows what type of confidence they have at the plate. With the bottom of the order up here, runners on the corners, 2 outs. Ben Chen trying to get out of a jam here in the bottom of the second inning.
Good fastball right there to get ahead of the hitter.
Reed Miller, the hitter, the DH in the 9 spot.
Runner at first base doesn't have much of a lead. We'll see if he tries anything.
Little dribbler to third. On to first, not in time. Reed Miller beats it out despite the effort from Lolly Esquivel at third, and we're tied.
That was just a swinging bunt. Lolly did everything he could to get that out, but just can't make the play. The ball's not hitting
fielder, number 2, Carson Ray.
Exactly right. So sure-handed at the hot corner, but you can't really control the little dribbler, but that's all they needed to tie up the ball game. And the threat continues with runners on first and second. With 2 outs, though, the magic has been created. If you remember, this inning started with back-to-back groundouts, but then the pitcher, Gabe Winans, doubles. Paxton Jacinto pinch runs for him, or courtesy runs for him. A walk and then another hit, so 3 consecutive base runners reach with 2 outs. And we'll see now as the lineup card flips back to the top with Carson Blake, if they can continue with runners on first and second and 2 outs.
Yeah, the Hawks have done here in the second inning what they didn't do in 6 innings on Wednesday night. They put a run on the board.
And it was going to be interesting to see how a Birdville team was going to respond after losing 10-0 to open up.
Well, Coach Webster specifically mentioned that the pitcher for the Hawks, Winans, is a known commodity, and so I think he knew it was going to be a tough game tonight. We get a strikeout there to end the inning.
Great pitch by Chen to get out of it, but a run comes across. We're tied at 1. This is Mustang Baseball Live on Tradio. All right, Will Newton leading things off as we continue here.
Yeah, Mustangs find themselves in a 1-1 ball game here in the top of the third inning.
All knotted up. And so Gabe Winans, you mentioned Coach Webster talked about what he could do on the hill. Threw a couple innings, 1 run allowed, but he's the reason it's tied as well because he had the double that produced a run. So he tries to start things off, but you see Will Newton trying to start things off here. 9-1-2 scheduled to hit for Grapevine here in this third inning, and Will Newton, first district start, he's done it with the glove, and let's see if he can do it with the bat in his hands. The 2-1. Misfires outside.
Yeah, 3-1 count right here. We'll see if he's swinging. Coach may have him take a pitch. Okay, yeah, that was gets us a leadoff runner on base with a base on balls.
Now batting, number 1, Luke Esquivel.
So Luke Esquivel up to the plate. He flew out to center in his first at-bat, that followed by a short discussion that we think was about a drone. And, Jeff, I don't see the drone anywhere anymore.
No, it seems to have disappeared.
And if you weren't there, it was a discussion between the two coaches, I think, and the umpires perhaps just not
well
agreeing
hit.
with it. But that is well hit into left. And Luke Esquivel has a base hit. The first two get on here in the top of the third. And the right spot of the order up for Grapevine is Zach Goldstein's turn. He scored the only run for the Mustangs tonight after drawing a walk and coming across to score in the first. Now they're in business as the first two have reached here in the third.
Hawks are going to play in on the corners looking for a bunt here from the Mustangs. We'll see if Zach squares or not. It is a prime bunting spot. He is going to square.
And it does drop. They go to first. And wow, in to first base. They do get it in time, but we'll say Zach Goldstein really made that close for a ball that just was out in front of the plate.
Yeah, Zach gets down the line well, and the catcher hesitated for a second throwing the ball, so it was a close play there.
Anyway, though, it does a job, and it puts two runners in scoring position for Jarrett Boswell, who singled, stole the base as well in that first inning. So up with a couple in scoring position, and the first taken, but Luke Esquivel continuing to hit that base knock to left just a moment ago. He stands at second. Will Newton, who led off the inning with a walk, getting things started at third. Jarrett Boswell at the plate as Grapevine's trying to take back the lead. Winans fires a strike to even the count at 1.
Yeah, this is definitely a spot as the hitter. You want to try and drive something to the outfield and move that run across the plate with only 1 out. They are playing in on the corners, so they may try and cut a run down on a ball on the ground on the corners.
Swing and a miss.
Yeah, had a good cut there, just swung right through it. And we mentioned earlier, Winans has good velocity, and he has shown that at times, like that last pitch.
So Winans looks in, steps off. You've got the third place hitter in the order up with runners at second and third in a tie ball game in the third. Big spot here. 1-2 the count. And the pitch upstairs. Boswell lays off, looking for his second hit tonight after singling in his first trip to the plate.
Yeah, you know that pitcher right now is thinking strikeout. That's what he was hoping for on that high fastball.
He gets it in the air.
Unfortunately, not deep enough to plate that run. Played by the shortstop right there. had him a little bit off balance. I think that was a breaking pitch, and Jared had timed up a fastball.
So now Lally, who we talked so much about his batting average last time up. What does he do? Gets another hit in the first inning. He'll try to continue that, and we'll see if Grapevine can't create some two-out magic, as that's what Birdville did last half inning, and he's not going to have a chance. Jeff intentionally walked.
Yeah, they're showing some respect, and he's earned it. Personally, I wish they would have pitched to him, but I certainly understand putting him on there with the base open, and what he's done is no secret, I'm sure, to anybody in our district.
And now that brings up Gianni Corral, hit into the inning-ending double play last time up on a ground ball up the middle. That was really just a nifty turn by Birdville as well. They got it out of the glove on the turn up the middle fairly quickly, but the big spot still because Gabe Winans, who falls behind here to Corral, nowhere to put him with the bases juiced now. And that one gets behind, and a run gonna come across to score.
Yeah, I wonder if the catcher had his signals crossed there. He had trouble gloving that, and almost like he was maybe expecting an off-speed pitch and got a fastball. Yeah, they're going to have a talk here about their signals. That had to be a mix-up there.
Yes.
With a runner out at second, sometimes you change your signals up, but you don't always get on the same page.
That looked exactly like that, a cross-up, expecting a breaking ball, but a fastball comes, and it's not as though the ball sailed too far away, right? It looked like it hit off his mask, and you don't typically see that. A ball you block, you go run and get, but I think he was so shocked in that split second of, not knowing where it is. And credit to Will Newton, because he kind of just took off, and there wasn't even a play at the plate. Will Newton, drawing the walk to start the inning, comes across to score to now give Grapevine the lead once again on what we believe, as we see again here on Tradio. Great job by our production team catching that on the cross-up, Jeff.
Yeah, good instincts right there by Will, because if you wait and see where the ball goes, you're probably not going to score. You have to just break and trust your instincts.
And more interesting that it was bases loaded, and the first two were balls. So 2-0 count. First is open now to Corral, but he's got a hitter-friendly 2-0 count, and he fouls it away to the right side.
Threatening the Tradio equipment. That's our fancy remote camera there that I believe is a loaner.
A foul ball creeping toward that area, but the fence doing its job, right?
Yeah, we don't have Gavin over here with his glove on to protect the equipment. Gavin sometimes works the camera from right field. He's got one hand on the camera, and he's got his other left hand in a mitt.
Two balls and two strikes. Gabe Winans. Runners on second and third as he steps off. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and a 2-1 ball game. Winans out of the windup. Lets it fly and catches Corral for the 3rd out on the strikeout.
Yeah, that was a good breaking pitch right there. He got him looking. So the Mustangs do pick up a run and sit on a 2-1 lead headed to the bottom of the 3rd inning. You're watching Mustang Baseball live on Tradio.
we get that W. Yeah. So what you gonna do? Let's go. Getting W's. Yeah. What you gonna do? Yeah. Come on. Let's go. Yeah. Take it home.
Well, he is Jeff Knipper, and I'm Will Connerly. And Jeff, Grapevine up now 2-1. They battle back, and they are fortunate. Their second baseman draws a walk, comes across to score on a cross-up, but they get some traffic going with 2 outs.
Yeah, a little bit of small ball in play there to push that run across. And it looks like runs are going to be scarce tonight, so every run is important.
So as we start the bottom of the third, the Wolf, he's out there, Jeff. It's looked pretty good tonight.
Yeah, thrown a lot of strikes. That's well hit. The base hit to center field.
And, well, we go back and reflect on his outing at least so far. First inning, pretty solid, did allow 1 single. And then in the second inning, looked like he was going to start getting into a groove. Got 2 ground balls to start the inning, but then a double walk and single ended up having a run come across to score. But then he came back and ended the inning with a brilliant strikeout, catching a batter. So we've seen sometimes some balls have been over the plate, 1 squared up for extra bases, and he's surrendered all in all now. 4 hits tonight after that one by Ortiz. This to first base, and he'll just step on the bag right there. Jarrett Boswell doing the job, but the runner gets to second base.
Yeah, I don't know if that was a hit and run, but the base runner was definitely moving on the pitch, and that ground ball to Jarrett, he had to take the bag himself to get the out at first base, the only option.
First base, that's where you played, though, at South Alabama. You've got a lot of good times with ground balls coming your way.
Yeah, Jarrett's probably a better first baseman than me. I like the way he handles the bag over there. There's also something about a left-handed first baseman. It always seems to look better. Trey just informed me that he's quicker. I mean,
he
Trey
is quicker.
and I we're gonna have a 40-yard dash here before the season's over.
And it'll be live on Tradio too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. We'll take wagers.
That'll be fun.
Anyone who wants to bet on Trey, they can bet all they want.
That'll be a good one. Swing and a miss right there from Carter Owens. He flew out to left last time up, and that was to end the first inning on what was a great catch made to end the first inning. There out in left, if you remember, crashing into the wall was Luke Esquivel.
Yeah, be careful because that ball was well hit. That was right at the wall.
Strike 3, no opportunity to hit. It's the Wolf getting another punch out looking.
That's his 3rd strikeout of the night. Yeah, the base runner is Ortiz, and he's 2 for 2 on the night, so he's got 2 of their 4 hits.
And that's inside.
Yeah, with 2 outs right here as an infielder, you definitely want to keep that ball in front of you. Make them string together a couple of hits, even if you can't make the play at first base. Keep that ball in front of you and keep that runner at third base.
Called for a strike.
Yeah, that's that high strike we've seen called consistently this season as well as last season.
A ball and a strike is the count. Ground ball to short. Coming up on it, on to first. It's in time. So Chase Reeves grounds out. Grapevine with a 2-1 lead as we continue on to the fourth. This is Mustang Baseball Live on Tradio.
Same beast, ain't nobody here that's gonna tame me. Don't imitate what you can't be, bruh. I am the king, I am the king, I am the king, I am the king of the jungle, and it won't take me down. I am the king, I am the king of the jungle. I'm the king of the jungle, and it won't take me down. I'm not expected to win, they don't see behind the lens. Ready to defend my honor, my pride rocks, it's a corner matata. I'm always ready for battle. Never hits the floor, looking up, never looking down. Wait till you hear me roar. We ain't even in the same league. I'm a different animal, the same beast. Ain't nobody here that's gonna tame me. Don't imitate what you can't be, bro. I am the king, I am the king, I am the king, I am the king of the jungle, and it won't take me down. I am the king, I am the king of the jungle. I'm the king of the jungle, and it won't take me down. Tried the best a couple times, I was with a couple lies. I don't know why. Everybody wants to be the person.
So good job right there by Ben, working out of some trouble and stranding that runner at second base.
Absolutely, because that was a tough area to be in, especially when you consider the score of the ball game. It's not a comfortable lead in the third inning at all.
Well, and they had the heart of their lineup up with a runner in scoring position. He struck out the number 3 hitter and then got the cleanup hitter to hit that slow grounder to Connor Ray, who made a nice play there to end that inning.
So now Brady Boozer at the plate, takes for a strike. Winning, 4th inning of work for him, 2-1 ball game. Both starters worked around some hits tonight. It's up to Boozer to even the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, Winans has thrown 51 pitches through 3 innings, so it'd be good to make him work here in the next couple innings and get that pitch count up around 100 and maybe get into their bullpen.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Speaking of getting into the bullpen, and especially considering the fact of the arms they had to utilize just on Wednesday as Boozer draws a free pass to begin this top of the 4th inning.
Yeah, good at bat right there by Brady to get us a base runner.
So Thomas Powers up for a second time.
Yeah, we saw earlier Thomas is hitting over 350 on the season. Brady's got good speed, so maybe try and get him on the move here. He is moving.
Right on cue.
Gets there easy.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a great jump.
Yeah, great jump and good speed. That was really probably stole that one mostly on the pitcher.
Yeah, perfect storm. Plus, I think breaking ball as well allows it easier to run.
Yep.
Not too quick to the plate. And so perfect storm for Brady to get into scoring position right as Mr. Knipper calls it. I mean, you just stand. He said he's going to be moving, and he moves.
You're going to see a bunt.
All right. Hey, predicting everything before it happens. That's what you get on Tradio.
Yeah, I don't want to try and Tony Romo does that a little too much on the NFL broadcast, but yeah, at times it can be predictable.
He does. All right, Jim. He is funny. 1 ball and a strike. We'll see, though. Bunt probably still in play. Get a guy to third. It is indeed. We'll see if Thomas can get it down. Nope, it's going to be foul. So that probably changes the thought with 2 strikes.
You would think, Will, but occasionally we'll try and stick with the bunt on 2 strikes, and let's see if that happens here. Coach Webster will show some confidence with 2 strikes and allow him to continue the bunt. I've seen it happen a couple times.
Coach Webster, we'll get into it a little bit later on. A ball and 2 strikes with nobody out.
Thomas gets a timeout there. He kind of froze him for a little too long.
And Boozer, the speedy and athletic Brady Boozer, over at second. Swing and a miss. So Winans gets the strikeout for the first out in the inning. And that'll bring up Connor Ray.
Yeah, that's that high fastball. A little hard to catch up with good velocity up there.
Jeff, I know you saw this team a lot last season, and they had the story year. I mean, they nearly win 40 games. They only lose 5 times. They win a state championship in really a thrilling way. But this year's team, the thing that stands out is they're very versatile and athletic with the way they approach offense. You saw the big hitters toward the top of the order, but it seems like getting a guy over, bunting, running an extra base, it seems like that's been a staple for this team, the athleticism that they have. And when you talk about that in the game of baseball, some people don't really understand, but having an athletic and versatile offense certainly can go a long way because you're not just winning with gap-to-gap power.
Well, the saying that I've heard numerous times is speed doesn't slump. So guys that can run, they're always going to be able to run unless they get hurt, whereas guys that can hit, if they go in a slump, they may struggle. But, yeah, it helps you defensively. It helps you run the bases. It's going to make you a better hitter. If you can get down the line quicker, they're going to have to play you a little closer on the infield. It does a lot for you.
And for Connor Ray, he takes for a strike, a 1-2 count. So after Powers went down on the strikeout, Boozer still standing at second. A 2-1 lead for Grapevine, but trying to add on with a runner in scoring position here in the 4th inning. And Connor Ray waving at another, what we just have to consider, Jeff, at this point, nice offering from Winans. He is showcasing some good put-away stuff with 2 strikes.
Yeah, give the pitcher credit. He's a tough customer out there, and he's made it tough on our hitters to really get their timing and square anything up. We've hit a couple balls hard, but he's pretty much had us looking a little silly at times too.
And so Will Newton stepping in at second tonight. He's done a lot of good things, a couple of nice plays in the field. His first plate appearance, draws a walk and comes across to score. He's the difference in the ball game right now of why it's 2-1, and he had a really good AB to begin the 2nd inning, now up here in the 4th.
Yeah, it'd be great to see him get a big 2-out hit right here.
Called for a strike. Yeah, he tied that game up against Hebron, Trey Bell tells us.
Right. No, I remember that. He had a big hit, and, yeah, RBI single in that game, I believe.
Drew that walk last inning and came across the score. That was the 3rd inning, but 0-2 count. And he takes someone who can battle, though. You talk about coming in spots even earlier in this season. Stepping in this aspect, yes, but it's not like he's completely new. You've seen him in big moments already this season.
Well, Coach Webster does a good job, especially early season tournaments, of getting everybody some at-bats and reps. That's on the ground to the first baseman. They're going to get the out. But, yeah, all the guys are ready to come off that bench, ready to play. So the Mustangs cling to that 2-1 lead here, headed to the bottom of the 4th inning. You're watching Mustang Baseball live on Tradio.
So we're alongside the former South Alabama Jaguar. You guys know his name. He's been doing Grapevine baseball for a long time. Handful of years with Mr. Trey Bell here on Tradio. As we start the bottom of the fourth inning. Over to the hot corner, on to first in time.
Nice play right there by Lolly. But, yeah, over the last 3 seasons, my best guess would be that Trey and I have done somewhere around 70 ball games or so, with the deep playoff run in 23, the run to the state championship last year, and this year doing all the district games.
I guess I shouldn't assume everyone knows the name. Maybe there's some Birdville fans tonight. So Mr. Jeff Knipper, if you needed it. And I think a lot of people do with your performance over the years. High ratings and reviews here on Tradio. But one gone here in the bottom of the fourth inning. We'll see if Mr. Chen can't continue to protect what is a 1-run lead. You mentioned clinging to it and trying to fight through what is a game that has turned into a close battle, just a tally. Really, 3 different innings we've seen 1 run come across, and that's it tonight. None of those crooked numbers you've been accustomed to seeing a lot this season.
Much different feel than Wednesday night's game. At this point, the Mustangs were up probably 5 or 6 runs, and tonight we're sitting on a 2-1 lead, and we've actually been out hit 4-3. So we need to stay where they're at and come in and put some runs on the board.
What a great pitch there. The Wolf. Not sure why he's called the Wolf, but when he does stuff like that, the nickname's getting pulled out because that was nasty. Oh, Chinny Chin Chin. You did mention that earlier.
Yeah. That's the Wolf's 4th strikeout of the night.
All right. Mr. Chin doing his thing on the hill. You did mention that, but I still think, though, you know, we have fans that come in and out, so you never know if they realize it. But that's a free pass. No crooked numbers, as we mentioned. You can see it there.
Yeah. The scoreboard Wednesday night looked much different.
So Reed Miller's coming up to the plate. They got the big strikeout, and that's when we pull out the Wolf nickname because he is going and doing things in a big way. And then they intentionally walk the backstop to get to Reed Miller.
And he had an RBI single in his last at bat.
He did.
You know.
That's very interesting. They intentionally walk a guy that they walked last time to get to a guy who had an RBI last time up, but we'll see. Fired for a strike.
You know, I saw a little bit of activity in the Mustangs bullpen in the 3rd inning, but may just be some guys getting some work in. It looked kind of like Sam Gerard.
And that is a foul ball. So 0-2 count.
It's a really nice field here in Birdville, but what really, as a hitter, I wouldn't like is all the foul territory. There's a ton of room from that first base bag over to the dugout, about twice as much as usual.
And that is bounced to the backstop. That's 1 base being taken, putting the brakes on at second. Ryder Tiroff with a 1-2 count.
Yeah, it's going to put him a run in scoring position here with 2 outs. So need to shut it down right here.
So the 1-2, Chen looks at second, kicks, and that as well gets away. Tiroff advances 90 more feet, and once again, as we saw an inning ago, Jeff, the tying run 90 feet away.
Yeah, and that one looked like it caught Gianni on the hand. He was wincing a bit there. So not a good – you definitely got to keep it in front here.
2 balls, 2 strikes. And after 2 straight balls that get to the backstop, keeping it in front essential, but it also limits, especially with how big the backstop is here, it limits your repertoire as a pitcher. You're probably not going to bury anything right now.
Yeah, you got to – oh, there it is. Gets the strikeout. Big strike right there by Ben to end the inning. But good point there, Will. You can't break that curveball off short because that's –
Wolf.
That's 5 Ks for the Wolf. So you're watching Mustang Baseball Live on Tradio. The Mustangs sit on a 2-1 lead.
Alongside the former South Alabama first baseman Jeff Knipper, I'm Will Connerly as we continue. Tight ball game tonight. We start the 5th inning, and it's a 1-run ball game.
Yeah, Luke had a line drive single to left field in his last at bat. It'd be nice to see him get things started here in the top of the 5th inning.
Well, line drives, that's what he's done a lot this year. As you saw the batting average on the screen just a moment ago, .436, and it climbs after he had a base hit his last time up, a line drive fashion to the opposite field.
He had a 4-hit night last Friday night up in Denton. He was right there with Lolly. Those are right around 450.
A lot of multi-hit nights for a guy who's one of the most coveted freshman prospects in the state.
Yeah, we heard he's a verbal commit to LSU.
1-2 the count. For the freshman, like you said, a verbal commit to LSU. It misses upstairs, but the leadoff man and freshman phenom trying to lead things off in what is just a 1-run game, Jeff.
Yeah, and again, I see some activity over there in the Mustangs bullpen. I believe that's Sam Gerard.
And that's grounded to short, on to first, and the scoop not made. Not scooped up at first. Would have been an out, but Banner unable to make the squeeze. And that allows Luke Esquivel to get aboard at first base. Would have been a bang-bang play. Esquivel hustling down, but they can't complete the ground ball out.
Yeah, the shortstop was actually on the second base side of the bag when he fielded that ball and had to make a throw on the run because Luke does get down the line well. But, yeah, the one hop the first baseman, he couldn't come up with it clean.
Strike fired. One thing you have to say about Gabe Winans, velo hasn't taken a dip. He's still pumping fastballs in on the first pitches, and he does it right there to Zach Goldstein.
Yeah, he has good velocity, and his pitch count is still modest, 74 pitches. So I expect we're going to see him at least push around 100 pitches.
We saw him early in the afternoon getting his long toss in, going deep out to center field, and you could just see the arm strength. And it's one way some pitchers try to condition their arms, and you see that all the time. It really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things what you do pregame, but sometimes it's just fun to see some of the arms that some of these guys have on them when they are warming up, and you see it playing from 60 feet 6 inches on the hill.
Yeah, I remember the day when I might could have done that. Now I'd be lucky to get it halfway there. He's going.
Oh, man, what a jump. I mean, that really was on the jump. And he gets in time. Luke Esquivel taking second.
Yeah, it's going to get us a runner at scoring position with nobody out, and this, again, is probably a bunting situation here.
He had an opportunity, a couple opportunities to drop one down so far. Last time Goldstein doing just that. Again, drops it down the third base line. He will get to first in time. And so Mr. Knipper calls for a bunt, and Grapevine calls for a bunt single.
Yeah, that's a bunt base hit. Third baseman knew he didn't have a play, didn't even try and make the throw. And we're going to get a mound visit here. I haven't seen any activity in their bullpen.
No, right to your left.
Yeah.
One thing you should say, though, activity for
I believe
Grapevine,
that's
as you mentioned.
Sam Derard over there getting loose, and he was throwing earlier. Again, they're probably talking about the first and third situation here. They did take a timeout when we had this spot earlier.
How about the facility here, Jeff?
Oh, it's a beautiful ballpark, and I would, again, Molly, as a hitter, the only thing I wouldn't like is all the foul territory. There's a lot of room to catch balls that would usually be in the outside of play in some smaller parks. The area from first base to the dugout is probably at least 50, maybe 60 feet. And my guess is at the corral, that distance is probably half that much. So there are some balls that you could get to as a fielder that you wouldn't get to at some ballparks.
Jarrett Boswell up. Runners on the corners. Nobody out. And a check at first. Sam Derard, like you mentioned. A.J. Juarez confirmed it for us, so your eyes, perfect. Number 13 getting hot.
Well, LASIK's 20 years ago. That's the only reason I can see that.
I mean, that is, you're looking across the way, no binoculars, but A.J. Juarez pulled them out, and he said you were right on the money. So will we see him next inning? You think Chen goes out? Who knows? Grapevine with more business to handle right now before we get to that point, trying to have a bigger lead.
Yeah, I'd like to, whoever's on the mound, spot him a couple more runs.
This is the spot to do it, though, with runners on the corners and the third-place hitter in the order up.
Yeah, this is the heart of our lineup, and we would expect them to do some damage right here with runners at first and third and nobody out.
Boswell, the district MVP a season ago, an all-state selection. He lifts this one towards left. Should be deep enough to get a run across. It is. Grab is made in left. And Jarrett Boswell with an RBI sacrifice fly. Grapevine goes ahead 3-1.
Yeah, good job of hitting right there by Jarrett to drive that ball deep enough to score that run. He's an RBI machine. We saw it last year, and that's your job right there with less than 2 outs. You don't need a base hit. Just make sure we get that run in.
And does a job lifting it out to left. So 3-1, 2-run lead, but still a chance to continue it because Lally at the plate intentionally walked last time up, had the respect, and that throw goes wide. That allows Zach Goldstein to get to second.
Yeah, didn't get too far away, but he broke quick and gets us another runner in scoring position.
And so now if they were really careful with Lally last time with the intentional walk, he had a single in his first at-bat. And he swings here,
fairly
drives
deep.
This one towards right, and it one hops off the wall. Fairly deep is right.
We had a good view of that. It looked like the right fielder might get to it, but he just drifted, and that ball one-hopped the fence. That ball had good carry to the opposite field.
And so the third time through the order, they're seeing Winans a little bit better because here in this fifth inning, 3 hits for Grapevine in their last 4 hitters, including their first tonight that goes for extra bases with the double there from Lolly Esquivel.
That's right. Yeah, that's our first extra base hit of the night, and no surprise that Lolly picked it up. He's been hitting a lot of doubles this season.
It's not been a bad week for Lolly at the plate because he went 2 for 2 with 3 runs scored on Wednesday. He's 2 for 2 tonight as well with the double, single, and, well, what was the other plate appearance? An intentional walk. So he is doing a lot of things right as the cleanup man. Gianni Corral now up. And he grounds this through the left side. One comes across to score. They're waving Lolly home as well. He'll get there in time. And Gianni Corral with a 2 RBI double down the left side.
So the Mustangs separate here in the top of the 5th inning. We've got a 4 spot on the board, well, actually 3 now on the board, and still hitting with only 1 out and runner at second base.
And again, it seems as though 1 trip through the order, tough. 2 trips through the order, it was difficult. But now the 3rd time through the order, 4 of the first 5 hitters on the 3rd turn for Winans have got base hits. And so you're seeing that this is a Grapevine offense, tough to set them down if you see them a 3rd time, and for any pitcher against a coveted offense like this, and we're seeing it right now.
Yeah, Mustang hitters have definitely come out with a better feel for the timing this inning. That's Connor McDermott in to run for Gianni at second base. He's a courtesy runner.
But is that something that helped you out, you think, when you could see a guy a 2nd time, a 3rd time, especially for a starter that is so respected like Winans is? It's a tough because he has thrown the ball well. It just seems he's running a little bit out of gas toward the end of his outing right now.
Yeah, the more pitches you can see, the better feel for you're going to get for what he has. So if you can get to that 3rd at bat, and if you can have some 5-6 pitch at bats, that's even going to help more. More pitches you see, I think the more it helps the hitter.
So Boozer hitting with 2 strikes. And that ball gets behind. Dermott getting to 3rd. And the other part of that, too, and I've heard this from guys in the dugout with the bat, is they say, I may have just 1 or 2 at-bats, but when I'm on deck, when I'm in the dugout, all of that information really helps as well. So just the more pitches you can see, but just the more pitches he can throw, because every pitch is more information, even if you don't have the bat in your hands and you come in to pinch hit, or if you just wait for your trip every 9 tries, right?
Well, in the on-deck circle, at least I always looked at that as a chance to time him up. You know, in the on-deck circle, you may not swing, but you're striding on his release. So, yeah, there's a lot to be learned from the on-deck circle. And hitters, you'll see, will come back and pass along information. They're going to move up and try and cut that run at the plate on the infield.
With a 1-2 count, Winans kicks, delivers. Boozer takes a big swing with a 1-2 count, but he fouls it back.
Yeah, Trey just reminded us that this is where Brady hit 1 out last year. So it'd be nice to see another one of those.
It was a 2nd-team All-District selection a season ago. And he gets called for strike 3.
Yeah, a couple fastballs, and then he locked him up right there with a curveball. So good pitch right there by Winans.
So 5 runs on the board. And the lead has swelled to 4 runs. Here for Grapevine. You mentioned what was on the line tonight in terms of the district standings. Grapevine putting themselves in a position at the top and trying to continue to stay there and perhaps give themselves at least a share of first place this evening.
Correct, right. A win assures them at least a tie for first place in the district.
Misfires outside, and really you think about the record 20-2 and the 2 losses, both by just 1 run. It's a team that has really just dominated opposition this season, and 2 losses again by just a run as that ball scoots away and a run, and McDermott will come across to score. Grapevine having a great 5th inning, and they're starting to take control.
Yeah, things have come unraveled a bit here for the Hawks. The Mustangs do have 6 hits on the night, but we've picked up 4 base on balls, so they've helped us out and put some runners out there, and then we've had some pass balls like that have advanced some runners.
And that was a similar story on Wednesday. 10 hits all in all, but 5 walks, allowing for 10 runs to come across and score. As that is a strike with Powers at the plate.
Yeah, you just can't put that many base runners out there and not expect some runs to push across.
The 2-2. Powers takes up top. He's been retired via the strikeout in his first 2 at-bats, and now a payoff pitch awaiting from Winans, trying to get out of an inning that he's already surrendered 4 runs to make the lead now 6-1. He does indeed get the punch-out, his 2nd consecutive strikeout, but not before. 4 hits for Grapevine in the inning, and they add on 4. They lead by 5 as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. It's Mustang Baseball Live on Tradio.
Go ball! Get out of here! Get out of here! Oh, get deep! Get deep! Be deep!
Oh. 2 balls, 1 strike on Jared Boswell, the junior, the first baseman for the Mustangs. Hadn't been in a bigger spot in his life. Oh, he hit one. He burned him.
Ball!
He burned him.
Let's go!
Go! He burned him.
Yeah! We got a ball game!
Mustangs are state champions.
I love it, Trey.
Oh, my God.
Mustang Baseball Live on Tradio begins now.
We're back with you on Tradio. Mustang Baseball Live. Jeff Knipper, Will Connerly, Trey Bell, AJ Juarez, and our entire crew with you as we continue on here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Gavin Winders as well out in right on the camera.
And we do have a pitch and change for the Mustangs. Sam Derard, who we saw down in the Mustang bullpen, is now in the game. We've seen Sam come in and pitch before. He's a big right-hander with a good fastball, and there was a curveball that stayed up. Ben had another good outing. He went 4 innings, only 1 earned run, and had 5 strikeouts. So definitely put the Mustangs in a position to win tonight, and now just needs the bullpen to come in and shut the door.
So 4 innings of work, and you come out with a good feeling knowing your team's up by 5. So off to Derard and the pen.
And Ben threw 57 pitches on the night, which we've usually seen him throw around 90 pitches. So it makes me wonder if maybe coach is, wanting to see Sam throw tonight because Okay, that's on the ground to Connor Ray.
Makes the play. So
this might be a move where, you know, when you get to the playoffs, you usually are going to need 3 starters if you go to a 3-game series, and he might just want to see Sam in action and get him, you know, ready for the playoffs. You don't want to look too far ahead, but again, that's not a spot where Ben would normally come out of the game.
Right. Well, the other component of it, too, is that Ben faced the order 2 complete times. And so this was Carson Blake. That was his 3rd at-bat, and he's the leadoff hitter. Do you think Coach Webster's decision could have factored in there as well? Hey, we don't want him to go see a 3rd time through the order, because we saw on the other side when Winnan saw Grapevine's line up for a 3rd time, they had 4 hits in the first 5 times through the order.
That might have factored into his thinking. I'm if I could get into Coach Webster's head right now, I could answer that.
Could mic him up. I don't know, but you're right. He's been an innings eater, to your point, throughout this season. So that seems like both of those could have been at play, but you make a good point, because district play all year long, 2 starters. But, hey, Gerard looking good out of the pen, gets a strikeout.
And that's the first time we've gotten that hitter out tonight. Ortiz was 2 for 2. So it finally shut him out.
So Eric Ortiz going down on the strikeout. Now it brings up Manny Gonzalez. So Carson Blake grounds out, Eric Ortiz strikes out, and Sam Gerard is looking to get out of this inning with a 1-2-3 frame. Low and inside. But, yes, district play, 2 starters, but those 3-game sets, always a potential when you get into playoffs. And so that definitely ends up being a big factor as you continue to progress throughout the season. And Gerard's looking good right now.
Yeah, Sam's a guy that would, you know, pitch probably in the tournament season early. Okay, that's – nice play by Connor Ray right there to end the inning.
Wow. Nifty play made at short.
So Mustangs sit on that 6-1 lead here, headed to the bottom of the 5th inning. You're watching Mustang Baseball live on Tradio.
All right, we are back with you. Mustang Baseball, it is live. It's on Tradio, and it's a 6-1 ball game right now.
Yeah, and the Hawks are sticking with their starting pitcher, Winans. He's still out there. He's, I believe, around 90 pitches. So you can throw 110, I believe, is what the UIL allows you. Yeah, he's at 92 pitches, so he's still got another 20 or so pitches.
And it's you can't start another batter when you get to that point? Or
correct. You can finish the batter that you're on, but you can't start a new one.
And so we'll see how far they can go here with Winans. 3-0 count, though. And perhaps part of the thought was it's the bottom of the order, because they did have a new arm getting hot, and that arm was Luke Banner. who's playing first base. They had their first baseman getting hot, so maybe instead of going to the bullpen, they could just go and switch. And maybe they do that after a 4-pitch free pass to the 8th place hitter in the lineup in Connor Ray.
Yeah, that's now 5 base on balls the Mustangs have picked up, and we may see that pitching change.
And 10 walks overall drawn in this 2-game set for district action.
Yeah, we are going to see that pitching change.
We'll see. So they're going to switch up the defensive alignment a little bit as well, because from the outfield, you had you had Carson Blake, who was in center. Looks like he is going to grab a first baseman and go to first. And they switch up the outfield alignment now.
Yeah, the starting pitcher, Winans, has gone to the outfield and may go to center where Blake was at, I believe.
And then Carter Owens out there in the outfield as well. So anyway, it's Luke Banner, who is at first, getting loose, coming into the ball game. And so the right-hander getting loose, Grapevine leading 6-1. And it's a team really that you just think they're kind of in just a good rhythm because they're finding different ways to get the job done when you think of Grapevine and all the success that they've had this season.
Well, in one of the interviews we did with Coach Webster earlier in the season, he talked about pitching and defense, and that's a big emphasis for the Mustangs. If you pitch well and play good defense, you're going to be in just about every game. It's not going to take many runs to win those games and be competitive. So Mustangs have done that again tonight. They don't have an error, and they've only allowed 1 run to score. So when you do that, you've got a great chance to be on the right side of the scoreboard.
And with Coach Webster, 3+ decades as a head coach, and he's been now here at Grapevine, 7th season here. So he's had so much experience coming into it. And it's impressive too, Jeff, to see that this team had so much success last year winning the state championship. And before that, they had another title in not too recent history, 2016? 2016. And then they win one last year, but they're replicating it again this season with a team that looks like they have that same potential.
Yes, they definitely look like they have the potential for a deep run. You've got to execute once you get there, but the team definitely has the making of a very good team.
But after a record-setting 40-win campaign last year, trying to take second, not successful there for Ray, thrown out at second for the first out after the pitching change. So Luke Banner getting some help on the first hitter he sees. Doesn't get credit all in all, but the out made at second.
Yeah, Will Newton was swinging at that pitch. It makes me wonder if it was a hit and run. Good cut right there, foul straight back.
That's got to feel good as an arm out of the pen, or I guess out of first base, to come in and, hey, runner aboard, nobody out, and quickly erased off the base paths. But a 5-run ball game, he's trying to keep it there. Grapevine looking for insurance.
Yeah, never know when you might need another run on the board. Of course, the way Sam looked in that last inning, 2 might have been enough. Sam had a really good relief inning right there in the 5th, bottom of the 5th.
Six 6-1 Grapevine with a full count. Here to
it's pretty well
Newton.
hit right there. That may – no, the center fielder's going to go get it. We'll put a charge into that one.
And despite it going down as an F8 in the scorebook, and Eric Ortiz, who's been good himself tonight at the plate, making the grab, you could say that the second baseman squares up a baseball, and he's going to get picked up in the dugout for sure after that one, despite it being an out.
Yeah, it always feels good to hit one on the barrel like that.
And he drew.
That's a ball you just want to get it down a little bit. He's not going to be a guy that's going to hit it out of the park, so he needs to bring the trajectory down so the outfielder doesn't have as much time to run it down. But it's nice to square it up.
And he had that walk earlier in the game, then came across to score, which at the time was an instrumental run in this game because that was the difference until the 4-run inning for Grapevine last inning in the 5th. So it's back to the top of the order and Luke Esquivel. Just another day at the office for him. Pair of hits tonight.
I was wondering what they scored that last. That's a hit right there.
Oh, yes, a couple of hits. Yeah, that is true. What did they score last time up, hit or air?
He was 1 for 3.
Okay, so we spoke it. We were being like you. Yeah. We spoke it into existence.
He's got 2 hits now.
2 hits tonight now.
There you go. Yeah, just another 2-hit game for an Esquivel. It seems like we say that every Mustang game.
Yes, both Esquivels with a pair of hits confirmed. Spoke it too soon because one was called an error. And now Zach Goldstein up at the plate. Esquivel with a huge lead, and he gets there in time. Grapevine running. Despite getting thrown out just a moment ago on what we believe was a hit and run, Luke Esquivel off to the races there.
Yeah, Luke had a really big jump right there. Got Zach at the plate. He had a bunt base hit in his last at bat.
Banner, the pitcher, now in relief of Winans. Winans, I believe, went out to left.
Yeah, that is him in left field.
Goldstein at the plate, 2-0 the count. Taken.
.3-0 count right here. Be interested to see if Coach lets him swing at 3-0. Probably not with Jarrett Boswell on deck. Probably like to bring his bat to the plate.
Who wouldn't? He has been so successful.
Well, he was swinging.
Hey, there you go. Goldstein trying for it as well.
Maybe it wasn't 3-0. The board's now saying 2-2, so I was just relying on the board.
You can get burned on the board sometimes.
Got to pay better attention.
2-2, according to the board. Here with 2 outs. And that is popped up. Second baseman under it. And it is play being made there to retire the side. So a 6-1 score after Chase Reeves makes that grab at second. And we continue in this ball game. It's Mustang Baseball Live on Tradio.
Will, you were asking me about Luis Gonzalez, who I played with at South Alabama, and real quick, I'll just get a story in. I was down in Gulf Shores about 7-8 years ago and went by my old coach, Steve Kittrell's beach house, and it just so happened to be right around the time of the Major League Draft. Luis's son was a first-round draft pick that year, and we got Luis on the phone to talk about his son, who, you know, I think he's still in the minor leagues, or if he's still playing. That was 7-8 years ago, and I haven't heard anything. But it was pretty cool to, you know, he was just a dad at that point, former major leaguer, and to have a kid like that following your footsteps, I know was pretty cool. He was really proud of his son. So Sam gets that first out there on a pop-up.
Carter Owens popping out for the first out in the 6th, but Jeff Knipper, appreciate you sharing that story. So you end up, when the draft goes on, he goes early, and then you, along with some of your other teammates, or you just called him and got him on the phone?
Well, Coach Kittrell called him.
Coach called him.
Yeah, we called him.
Okay.
He said, hey, I'm going to call Luis. His son is a first-round draft pick for the Giants, and we're going to talk to him. And it was pretty cool. He just put him on speakerphone.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Especially to see that someone you played with, and then, of course, all the success he had, now his son, which that would be interesting to now see.
Yeah, I need to see if he's still in the minor leagues. He was a first-round draft pick of the Giants, I believe. So Sam's come in and been effective here. Good to see him throwing strikes. We saw him pitch a Saturday a couple weeks ago against Hebron, and he was really effective the first 3 innings, and then had a command issue and wasn't able to finish that game. But we know he's got the talent.
He has looked good today because he comes in last inning against the top of the order, sets down the side in order. 4 straight retired now out of the pen after getting Carter Owens, and trying to make it 5 straight, working against Chase Reeves. And getting some information for you, the Reading Fighting Phils. That's where Jacob Gonzalez calls home.
Yeah,
Said over 2,000 at-bats in minors.
Yeah, 2017. Okay, he was drafted in the 2nd round in 2017. So he wasn't a first rounder, he was a 2nd rounder.
Played a lot in the minor leagues. Looks like perhaps was released 2023. So that's the last I can find. But, yeah, that is a pretty cool moment for Jacob and Luis and you.
Yeah, they're much more accomplished than me, but it was pretty cool to hear Luis talk about his son, and his son may still be trying to find his way out there in independent league. That'd be interested to know, because as a kid coming out of high school, even though it was 2017, he's still only 25 years old.
Exactly right. Yeah. Born in 1998.
Okay.
Or
26.
26.
Yeah. You see guys, though, still break in sometimes in their late 20s. So.
And as we relate it back to this evening's affair, as it's pop-up in foul territory, nearly a great diving play, but a good effort put out by Boswell right there. He loses the lid and the glasses at that. Nearly that would have been one that Trey Bell would have put on the highlight reels for sure if it was created.
And that was a great effort by Jarrett, but again, that's that extra foul territory there that you have a play on where that ball normally would be on top of the dugout.
That's right. Huge area. Swing and a miss. Gerard doing a good job. Chase Reeves, though, getting aboard on a free pass and 0-2 count with 1 out. Luke Banner, who came in to pitch at the plate, trying to battle with 2 strikes. And, wow, Gerard fools him.
Yeah, another strikeout right there for Sam.
And as you mentioned, at this moment in time, if it were to be a 3-game series, would your guess be Sam as that third starter? With the way he's throwing tonight, sure, but just overall what you've seen this season?
The only other pitcher I've seen much of is Lolly. Lolly's been used mostly in a relief role, so that may be more what they have Lolly slotted for is as a reliever. So, yes, my best guess would be Sam would be that number 3 starter if and when it was needed.
Check at first.
The Mustangs' last 2 games of the regular season are actually non-district games, and it'll be interesting to see who takes the mound in those games, because that could be some more revealing as to what coach maybe has in mind for those 2- and 3-game series. Best 2 out of 3 series.
2-0 the count here with 2 down. And that is up and in. That is interesting as well, the way the schedule works out like that, because that's not always the case, right?
No. Usually you would finish the season in district, but because we're down a team, Lake Dallas moved down to 4A. Coach Webster talked about that in the interview. We had to fill the last week of the season with some non-district games, and I believe we play Arlington Heights.
Okay.
Those last 2 games, and those games for the district won't mean anything, but obviously you'd like to accomplish something before you kick off your playoff season.
Right, and that's just interesting because every team will have a different bye week.
Right.
And it just so happens to be the last week for Grapevine, which in a way, a little bit of an advantage from the aspect of you can kind of, that last week, rest some guys, perhaps.
Yeah, actually, and Coach, I'd have to go back and listen to the interview. He talked about it was possibly not a good thing, but I could see some benefit in resting some arms. We saw that last year with the Joker, JoJo Kubo.
Oh, yes.
He got some rest late in the season and looked really good in the playoffs, and I think that rest he got in the season definitely helped out. So
yeah.
We might see some different arms on the mound in those last 2 games.
Because if you remember last year up at Denton High School, I mean, the Joker was on another level. I'd never seen Trey Bell more excited than when the Joker was doing what he was doing last year at Denton High School in the playoffs. And, of course, that rotation was great with him and then a guy who goes very early in the Major League Baseball draft. Hard to compete with that. And that's why they had a big reason why they had so much success.
This one's coming
our
way.
Foul
Watch out.
ball, souvenir opportunity, but it just goes over the fence by Trey Bell's vehicles and by us over here. So we say hello out and right. Broadcasting this game tonight on Tradio. A 6-1 score, bottom of inning number 6. Sam comes set, swing and a miss.
So put another K on the K meter for Sam Derard. That would be 3 if we had the K meter up.
K meter now. Wow. Derard doing things out of the pen.
So Mustangs hold on to that 6-1 lead here, headed to the top of the 7th inning. You're watching Mustang Baseball live on Tradio.
lions at the helm, so get ready for this. Yeah. All eyes on the prize. You could ride a better script, no. This is the main event. Yeah. This is the main event. This is the main event. Yeah. Come on. High speed adrenaline running through my veins. Yeah. Too fast from the start. I was blown away.
Jeff Knipper ready to go?
Yeah, before we get started here, we just want to recognize some of our faithful Tradio listeners. Ott Boswell, we know he's probably out there, got Tradio tuned in tonight and has seen Jarrett pick up a single earlier in the game and steps into the plate right now for another at-bat.
That's pretty amazing. You were sitting on that all game long until he led off an inning, and the first time he does, you get a chance to shout out a family member. Well done execution right there.
So we just retrieved a game ball. That looks more like a game ball. It's a diamond, a pearl is what they like to call it. So, Will, you mentioned my baseball career, but you're a former college baseball pitcher.
Yes, but did not have much of a career compared to Mr. Knipper. I'll tell you that right now. But we've got the baseball. We're trying to show the camera a little bit, but I think they saw. Hey, we'll give it Trey Bell souvenir tonight. Is that what it is? It's a game ball. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to count. But yes, Jeff, I played Division II. So that ball misfires low. And so in respect to being a Jaguar, it really doesn't compare. You know, it's just a hawk.
Hey, college baseball is college baseball. It's something to be proud of, and I know I enjoyed my time.
Oh, definitely enjoyed it. So down on strikes right there for Boswell. And you mentioned a lot of these players for Grapevine, faithful's probably watching. I mean, you mentioned the faithful listeners. You just develop a faithful following when you're a team that's produced this consistent amount of success over the last few years too, right?
Yeah, it's really a treat for these relatives that can't get to the game to be able to watch there's another hit for Lolly.
Oh, man. Back at it again.
So 3-hit night for Lolly.
Including an extra base hit. That one hopped off the wall. And we looked at the batting average. It was well north of 450. Coming into tonight, you think 3 hits, a 3 for 3. I mean, this week in general, he's 5 for 5.
Yeah, he's got to be pushing 500 now.
Because he was 2 for 2 the other night, including getting aboard a couple more times other than that. He's 3 for 3 tonight with a walk as well. So your cleanup man, 5 for 5 on the week, and he's been aboard much more than that.
Yeah, he's a hit machine.
So 5 hits in his last 5 at-bats. You talk about family. You just mentioned family tuned into the broadcast. I'm sure it's just a special opportunity for him to be alongside Luke as well, an outstanding freshman. And for those two to be hitting in the top 4 in the order, and just to see as an upperclassman to now see a freshman step into the team that was already such a coveted team, a team with big expectations after last season, and he's really moving the needle for them as a freshman. But then to see Lolly's leadership as well, it's pretty cool, I'm sure, to see that dynamic, Jeff.
Yeah, to play with your brother on the same high school team. You know, you do that in Little League because that's just the way it's done in Little League. But to play with your brother on a high school team is cool. Me and my brother did that at Picayune where we went to high school. Another hit for Gianni.
Gets through, first to third on the movement.
I think we do need to recognize our primary sponsors. The Action Logistics is responsible for our home plate cam and our outfield camera tonight. And then the 10th Man Club is our primary sponsor. And thank you for allowing Tradio to come out here and make these broadcasts possible and allow all these dedicated fans who can't get to the games to still be a part of Mustang baseball.
The 10th Man Club and Action Logistics doing great work.
Yeah, the camera shots we're getting this year are off the charts. We haven't had that in the past, and I'm not sure there's another high school team in Texas that has a broadcast of this quality. And I'm not bragging on myself. I'm bragging on Trey Bell.
Oh, man. As the rundown goes, out is called with a 6-1 ball game. But, no, you're right. Bragging on Trey Bell. I'm sure he and the fans would agree with you with the hard work and dedication they put on. Also, the interesting thing for me, and it goes down to what Grapevine it does as a team. We talked about earlier the versatile nature of their offense, right? They find a way to get it done. That's what Trey Bell does as well. It doesn't matter the location. He's going to set up and do a really good job. So, you know, he doesn't need a press box half the time. He finds ways to battle through adversity.
Yeah. This is actually one of our better setups. We're used to working out of the back of the truck
exactly.
on a platform. We do the best with what we're given.
Very versatile, just like Grapevine.
But you mentioned that Grapevine offense this year, and you know last year's team was incredible, but the team this year, the hitters may actually be from 1 to 9. May actually be a little bit better than last year's team, and that's saying a lot because that team was a very good all-around team. But offensively this year, and some of it is experience. You know, we have kids that were on that team last year that are now a year older, a little more mature, more experienced, and I think are better hitters than they were last year. We've seen that with Lolly, certainly.
Well, with Luke and Lally, like we've talked about, and then Jarrett, you get a guy back who was the hero last year in the state championship, MVP, all-state player, but then guys like Brady Boozer, a senior that's versatile, athletic. We've talked about his speed. I would agree with you there I know you've been around it a little bit more and seen it, but just from the outside looking in and seeing a couple games in each particular season, it feels like the offense better this year. The pitching might have had a little bit of an upper hand from last season. At the end of the day, though, both teams excellent, and both teams have a chance to, this team has a chance to do what last year's team did with how well they're playing, looking to move again. They've only lost 2 games all year. So
yeah, and both 1-run losses. It's kind of crazy that you give us a couple more runs and we could be 22-0.
That's why they're ranked as one of the top teams in the state. Right
now. Second in the 5A rankings last I saw, but I haven't seen an updated ranking in at least a week or more.
And Boozer getting there in time. Runner staying put at third. And, Jeff, you mentioned second only to, correct me if I'm wrong, the team that they beat last year in the state championship game.
I'm not sure.
Oh, no, I thought I heard that from Trey.
Was it Lovejoy maybe? That I'm not sure.
Lovejoy first in the state right now in 5A. They're first, yep, and that's, of course, who Grapevine beat a year ago. They're first and then Grapevine second. So you could see 2 teams on a collision course again. Now I'm getting way ahead of myself, but perhaps.
Wow, we had a walk-off win in the championship and a walk-off win in the semifinals. Talk about excitement.
Oh, yes. I mean, that's just unheard of. Back-to-back walk-offs to hoist a trophy and end a storybook, historic season.
Yeah, a lot of new records were set last year.
And this team's on track as well. Ranked second in the state, 2 losses only by a run. 6-1 the score.
Yeah, Trey just reminded me that the playoffs this year, if you get to Round Rock, will be best 2 out of 3, which is I like that so much more.
Oh, yes.
One and done when you get to that deep just doesn't make much sense to me. To play a 2 out of 3 series is the way it should have been done all along.
Agree. Because at that point in the season, the better team typically wins in a series. But in a one-game shot, it's baseball.
Right.
And so I really like that. It tests the depth of a team, too, because think about if a team has just one really, really, really good ace, it's tough because you win, you have to go play the next day. Do you throw your ace, but then you don't have him for the championship? Or it eliminates all of that, and it's just your team versus our team. Beat us twice.
Right.
I like that a lot. And it's pop up to the right side. And really, that's a trend even at the higher levels of baseball in college. At the lower levels in college, that's where all the postseasons are trending to as well. Best 2 of 3 series, when before it was even sometimes single elimination formats. So it will be a little bit different. And it seems like this team, even though we said, hey, starting pitching looks a little bit different, these guys have got the job done. It's a reason why they're 20-2 as well, as that is a ball 4. And Grapevine is looking for just insurance here in this inning. Already up by 5, but the bases now are loaded, Jeff.
Yeah, I believe we've got Connor Ray stepping to the plate here with the bases loaded and 2 outs. I think that last pitch actually caught Thomas on the elbow.
Oh. Okay, so Thomas Powers getting aboard for the first time tonight after going down via the punch-out in his first 3 trips. Now Ray grabbing a bat, walked last time. So Birdville, Achilles heel tonight on the mound. Well, it's been the walks, but all in all, it's been a better effort on the mound after surrendering 10 runs the other night. Just 6 this evening.
Yeah, we saw why Winans was Coach Webster mentioned that he would be tough. He hurt himself a bit with the walks tonight, and the Mustangs got a few timely hits. Yeah, that's going to be another run right there.
Scooting away. Run comes across to score. And Grapevine continuing to add on a 7-1 lead here in the top of the 7th inning. Great shot over at third base. Coach Webster giving some advice to Brady Boozer, a senior. And that's through the right side, so Boozer and company come across to score, make it 9-1 Grapevine. They continue. And that's Connor Ray doing a job toward the bottom of the order, Jeff.
Yeah, good to see Connor pick up a single with 2 RBIs right there. His bat was really hot early in district play, has cooled off a bit, so it's good to see him pick up a hit right there with a couple RBIs.
Now Will Newton stepping in, as we've mentioned multiple times tonight, making some plays at second.
Yeah, Will hit that ball hard in the left center gap earlier.
Just a little bit under it, like you mentioned.
Yeah, just keep a little lower trajectory.
Walked and came across to score 2, which at the time made it 2-1. Grapevine hasn't looked back, though, from 2-1 to 9-1. They've continued to add on the lead, but he was the difference-making run that initially gave them back the lead, and they haven't given it up since. Close play at first. It's been the back half of this game, because I think it was the inning that we showed the scoreboard here on Tradio. We said no crooked numbers. Well, now a couple crooked numbers have been put on the board since we took a glance
There's
at
a
the
hit.
score. And another one. Nice effort there by Will Newton, making the start today, getting aboard for the second time.
And I love the enthusiasm from the Mustangs dugout. You can hear it on that ambient mic. Everybody's up on the rail, and I'm sure they're happy to see Will pick up a hit right there. actually talked to Coach a little bit about that in the pregame interview, is, you know, what it means to be a good teammate. And we saw that a couple weeks ago, especially when some guys that are normally in the lineup were not in the lineup that day, and they were cheering hard for their teammates, and it's just great to see. It doesn't take talent to be a good teammate.
And you say happy. I'm sure Birdville not happy that they have to deal with Luke Esquivel again. 2 hits tonight. I mean, the Esquivels tonight been pretty perfect at the plate. They've got out just once and have combined for 5 hits. Pretty similar script to what we saw. That is fouled away.
Wow, a fan tried to play that barehanded.
Yeah.
That may leave a mark.
Ambitious.
So, yeah, the Esquivels have 5 of the 11 hits for the Mustangs tonight.
Yeah, Lally in this series is 5 for 5 in this series this week. So the batting average going up, but Luke, his brother, that's just a freshman, leadoff man, 2 for 2. 2-2 count, excuse me. 2 for 4 tonight, and he grounds it to short. And he is retired, but Grapevine adds on. They have some good insurance as we go to the bottom half of the 7th. They'll try to close it out on Mustang Baseball Live here on Tradio.
The C.J. Knipper Memorial Golf Tournament will be held this year on Friday, October 10th at Fossil Creek Golf Club. The tournament is dedicated to honoring the memory of C.J., who was a GHS student actively involved in DECA and golf. 100% of the proceeds from the tournament create scholarships for deserving DECA seniors at Grapevine High School. Since 2020, $45,000 in scholarships have been awarded. To find out more, including how to donate or be part of the tournament, please go to www.cjmemorialgolftournament.com.
Winners now, let's take it. Let's get it. Let's get it. We're winners now, let's take it. Let's get it. Let's get it. We're winners now, let's take it. We taking the top position. Yeah. Smash the opposition. Yeah. Victory in our hearts. We're winners now, let's take it. We're winners now, let's take it. We're winners now, let's take it. Yeah. Yeah. Come on. Come on. Let's go. Let's go. We got this. We got this. Yeah, yeah, uh-huh, still winners, still winners. We born winners, yeah, yeah. Let's get it, let's get it, go. Let's do this.
Well, Jeff, 3 outs away.
Yeah, 3 outs away from another Mustang victory. This one started out tight, but again, the Mustangs have stretched things out and given us a little bit of comfort here in the 7th inning.
Jeff, appreciate you tonight welcoming me into your broadcast that you've been a part of, alongside, of course, Trey Bell and the rest of the crew, but appreciate you letting me be alongside you this evening on the microphone.
We're blessed to have you. You're a pro. We're amateurs.
Well, I appreciate the kind words, and Grapevine has certainly appreciated the back half of this game offensively. A 4-spot and then a 3-spot last half to now have a 9-1 lead. And as you mentioned just a few innings ago, 2-1 ball game we were looking at. You go away from the computer for a moment, you come back 9-1. You tell the fans that, well, a free pass is taken advantage of, and extra base hit from Lally that really opened things up in those crooked innings. And they just do what kind of looked like a game from Wednesday night, 10-0 victory.
I'd be interested to see, like, the number of viewers as the score changed. Like, did we lose viewers when the game got out of hand, or I should say got a little more lopsided, as opposed to a 2-1 game when everyone's like, well, maybe this is the night the Mustangs really have to win a tight one.
Yes, that is a question that I don't know if we'll ever get the answer. I don't know if we'll get the answer to it.
I don't know if we have a Tradio viewership graph to show that inning by inning viewership.
Because when you're live on YouTube, as people are right now, you have how many people are currently watching. So perhaps somebody that was watching and has been a dedicated, locked-in viewer the whole game, maybe they have insight if they've seen the numbers go up and down. But you're right, though. It's gone up. It was 2-1. Looked like it was going to be a battle all throughout. Winham was really, really battling. I think the big difference in this ball game, you look to last half for the result, as that's grounded to second, on to first in time. Grapevine now 1 out away. I know people will look at the 3-run seventh and say 9-1. They close it out victory. But really, when you go back, and it was the third time through the order that Grapevine had 4 hits in the first 5 hitters in the order, the third time through, that they weren't getting much off Winham before that, and they were getting out hit actually before that inning, and they kind of opened things up with a 4-run frame in that 5th.
Yeah, that was a huge inning for the Mustangs. The hitters definitely came out with a better feel for win-ins there and hit some balls hard, and really haven't looked back since then. But Sam Gerard tonight has been really effective. He's 1 out from closing this one out.
And Gerard, I mean, you talk about the Wolf. We talked a lot about the Wolf today, 4 innings. And then Gerard trying to go for the 3-inning close it out. Swing and a miss there. Now Jacob Becker down to his final out here on Senior Day. Trying to battle things out. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Birdville down to their final strike. Gerard, swing and a miss. He throws the final 3 innings to pick up a save. Grapevine wins it 9-1, and they continue their winning ways after a 10-0 victory on Wednesday, a 9-1 win here tonight.
Yeah, great job right there by Sam picking up that strikeout to end the game. He had 4 strikeouts on the night, and Ben set the table early, only allowing 1 earned run. Just an all-around good game for the Mustangs, and yeah, it was tight early, but by the 4th inning, when they had that 4-run inning, is when things loosened up a bit and the hitters started to square some balls up. So we're gonna wrap it up here. Will, thanks again for being with us on the broadcast. Enjoyed having you show us how it's done, and look forward to you coming back and joining us sometime.
Appreciate the kind words very much. Feel blessed and honored to see how things are done from Trey Bell's perspective, because few do it like Mr. Trey Bell and Mr. A.J. Juarez and Mr. Gavin Winder out in right field. Everybody doing a great job, a part of this broadcast, and I was just grateful to be a part of it. So thank you, Jeff, for letting me come along tonight, and Grapevine picks it up 9-1 for the win.
Okay, we're going to sign it off. You're listening to Mustang Baseball Live on Tradio. Thank you.